A lot of us live like we got another second to breathe. A lot of us live like we got the next hour to spend, you know? And I don't think people talk about this enough. So I'm gonna do it today. So if you got time, stick around and listen. Think that a lot of people don't realize the urgency behind Jesus' return. I don't think a lot of people understand that Jesus is literally on the edge of coming back, and we are in the end times, and a lot of the biblical prophecies that Jesus talked about in the book of Matthew and Mark and the end times, the end of the age, when the disciples asked him, is being somewhat fulfilled, is being in our open sight. Recently we've been seeing a rise in crime, a rise in wars, a rise in world chaos. There hasn't been any peace around us, and I think people are not aware enough because people are focused on money. In the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 24, Jesus said, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. And I think the biggest struggle that our people and our generation has nowadays is that people have a love for money that has never been seen before. People think that if they get money, they are good, me included. I was always constantly thinking about money. I still am, I'll be honest, I still struggle with me thinking about money. And it's just recently that I've decided to give it to God, and I'm gonna encourage you guys to do the same, because you know money can just deprive you. Money will steal from you. Money will drive you crazy. And I think that a lot of people don't realize what money will do to you. And we see that people that have money, people that are rich, are all looking for some type of peace that they just can't find. I saw an interview from Will Smith talking about how he has everything he can buy, he can get anything he wants, but he feels empty, and he has the same depression before he had money. Now that he has money and he has everything, what more? What can I chase? And I think that's where God steps in and says, I'm the only one who can give you peace. There's always a void and a hole in our hearts that we try to fill with different things, and a lot of us are slaves to lust and things like that. We serve lust because we think that lust will fulfill us. We think that women will give us the love that we want, and it's just not true. I think people need to realize your only source is God, for those things. And money, whether it's different things, you need to put all that aside and focus on God, because again, we are in the